You were born into a family that controls more wealth than most countries will ever see in their entire existence. Not wealthy family wealthy. We're talking about a dynasty sitting on top of an estimated $1.4 trillion, built on oil reserves that still supply roughly 10% of the world's daily output, backed by a military you command, land you own, and laws that exist partly to protect your position. Most people hear that and picture luxury, private jets, palaces, servants who anticipate your needs before you voice them. And yeah, all of that is real, but that's not actually the interesting question. The interesting question is what it feels like to live inside a structure that total, that old, and that unforgiving. Because the wealth isn't just something you have, it's something you're inside of. Level 1, the dynasty. Here's the first thing most people get wrong about the Saudi royal family. They picture a king at the top and maybe a handful of princes below him, all swimming in oil money together. The actual structure is nothing like that. The Al Saud family has roughly 15,000 members who carry the title of prince. 15,000. And your position in that family, specifically how close your bloodline runs to the founding king, Ibn Saud, determines almost everything about what your life looks like. Most of those 15,000 get a monthly stipend from the state, a royal title they can put on a business card, and a very clear sense of the lane they're expected to stay in. They're princes in name. In practice, they're recipients of an allowance with a dress code. The real power sits with a much smaller group, sons and grandsons of Ibn Saud who hold the ministries that actually run the country. Defense, interior, oil, foreign affairs. These aren't ceremonial posts. They're the control points for a country that exports more crude oil than almost anyone else on earth, runs one of the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world, and controls SaudiArabia, a company so dominant in global energy that its 2019 IPO briefly made it the most valuable publicly traded company in history. Aramco isn't just a business, it's the financial engine the entire Saudi state runs on. Oil revenues fund the government, the military, the social contracts that keep the population stable, and the stipends that flow to all 15,000 of those princes. Control Aramco's direction, and you control everything downstream from it. So when you think about what it means to be a Saudi prince, you have to ask which kind. Because the gap between a prince who runs the Ministry of Defense and a prince who gets a monthly government transfer and occasional access to the right events isn't a small gap. It's practically a different species of life. The title is the same. The reality is completely different. But even if you're in that inner circle,